going on, guys? John Elder here for Codemy.com, and in this video, we're going to add some style to our friends list app with Ruby on Rails. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, we're going to add some style to our app. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. Okay, in the last video, we knocked out the basic CRUD stuff for our application here. So we can add friends, we can show them, we can edit them. In this video, I want to add some style. So we're going to create this table here. We're going to put some color in here. When we click on here, it's going to look, kind of nice like this. And just basically come through here and make this look a lot nicer. And we're going to use Bootstrap to do this, and it's going to be super easy and it should be pretty quick. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to go through because there's a lot of working parts in our app now, but it shouldn't take very long with Bootstrap, which is why we use Bootstrap, because it's super easy, super popular, and it's completely free. So remember a few videos ago, we actually installed Bootstrap. We didn't install it, we just sort of added it to our application.html.erb file, and we used the template file that came with Bootstrap. That allows us now to use all the Bootstrap components in our app anytime we want. It's really easy to do that. So let me reload our app here, and this is how our app actually looks right now. So this is our index page of our friends directory, and it's just very basic. Now we can add Bootstrap style to this stuff just by copying and pasting code from Bootstrap. Because you remember, back when we started this, head back over to our code, and we look in app, views, layouts. In our application file, we added this Bootstrap sort of template file. This has the CSS for Bootstrap, which allows us to just do all the Bootstrap stuff we want on our page just by copying and pasting some stuff. So let's head over to our index.html file inside of our app, views, friends directory. And in this friends directory, that's where we're going to be working at throughout this video. This is where all of those files are that we want to tinker with. So let's head back over to the web browser and let's head over to Bootstrap. So let's go to getbootstrap.com, click on the documentation link. And first we want to grab a table. So table is in content, I believe. Yeah, so click content and then come down here to tables. And these are all the different tables Bootstrap has. And there's just a bunch of different options, but they all start out with a table class of table tag. So we could just copy this, head over to our code. And if you look in our index page, there is a table tag already. It's just a basic tag. So I'm going to replace it with that. Let's just save this, head back over to our site and hit reload and just see what happened. Boom, just with that one little thing, it's already looking much better. So maybe we want to take this friends list off of here because we know what this is. So we could just come up here and delete this, save this, come back, reload. Okay, so that disappears. So now we have to decide what kind of table we want. And before we do that, let's add one more friend. So we have 3 of them in there at least. And so let's say Tina friend. She's at tina@friend.com. Her phone is 111-222-3333. And her Twitter is @Tina, I guess. So let's create Tina. And we'll fix this page too. So now we have 3 names in here. So let's head back over to Bootstrap and let's just kind of scroll through here and see what we want. First off, we can have table head stuff, right? So that's this stuff right here, the stuff at the top of the table, that's the table head stuff. We could do that by creating a table head class of tdark. So let's just grab that, I like that. And here's our thead tag now. We could just replace it with that. We save this, come back here and reload. All right, that's looking good, right? And what else do we want here? Striped rows, that's kind of cool, I like that. So we can add that by just adding this table striped class to our table tag, right? And that's how we're going to do a lot of this stuff. We'll just keep adding things on to this table class thing. So if we save this, head back over here, reload. Now they're striped, right? Just this easy. It's fantastic. I love Bootstrap. Scroll down, border maybe. So we can grab a table bordered tag and let's add that. So we just add a space and a paste, save it, reload it. Now we got a border. I kind of like that. What else can we have? We can have borderless, hoverable. That's kind of cool. So let's grab that. So that'll just be a table hover. Copy this, head back, paste. Okay. Give this a reload. Now it hovers, and I think that's looking pretty good. We can add a button here if we want instead of this link. Come back over to Bootstrap and let's click on components. I think that's good for tables. And let's see, buttons. Click on this. I like this secondary button because it kind of goes with our whole theme here. So that's just going to be this. So I'm going to copy this. See, it says BTN secondary right there. And I've got a whole course on Bootstrap at codemy.com if you're interested in Bootstrap and learning the ins and outs of it. For this video, I'm just going to kind of fly through here like I'm doing. So let's head back over here, come down to the bottom of this page and find that link. And let me just paste in this button. So really to create a button, all we need is a class BTN secondary. So I'm just going to add that to this link. So I'm going to put a comma here and put class. And I'm just going to paste this in there. So if we save this, head back over here and hit reload, boom, now we have a button. Well, that other one that I pasted in it is still there. So let's delete that. Okay, so now come back here and hit reload and cool. Click this and that works. So I think that's good for this page. Now let's head over to the show page. So let's check out our code here. And that's just going to be show.html.erb right here, right? So this is the page that is right here. So right off the bat, edit and back, let's change those to buttons since we're already sort of talking about buttons. So let me just copy this, head back over here, come down here, and here's our two links, edit and back. So inside of here, I'll just put class and then paste that in. Same thing here. Class and paste that in. Save this. Let's give this a reload. Okay, and we want to get rid of this bar, I guess. So we can take that out. And that's just right there. Boom. That's looking good. And you could change these if you want different colors. If you want one of them to be dark, right? We could just change it to BTN dark. So maybe the second one, we want it to be dark. Save this, mix it up a little, you know, because we're crazy like that, whatever. And next we got this. I want to use a Jumbotron, which is a big square thing. So I'm going to come down here and find the Jumbotron. And here it is, this hello world thing. So I'm just going to copy all of this and head back over here. And at the top, underneath the notice that we'll talk about later, I'm just going to paste in this Jumbotron. So let's save this and run it. And so now we have this big Jumbotron, and I'm just going to start putting in these elements into the Jumbotron, right? So to use the name, we just call this thing, right? So I'm going to copy this and come up here to hello world. And instead of hello world, I'm going to put first name and then last name as well. All right. So then we can get rid of these two things. Save this, come back, reload. Now it says John Elder there, that's cool. Instead of learn more, let me put these two buttons here. So let me come down here and copy these two buttons. And come up to the Jumbotron, here's the learn more link. So just paste this in. Put some space in there. All right, that's looking good. And maybe right here, we want to put the email, phone, and Twitter, so we can do that. Let's just come down here, grab the email, and find where this class is right here, where all that text is. And let me just paste that, and maybe I want to put a bar between each one of these. So email, phone, and let's say Twitter. So save this, come back, reload, okay. And let's get rid of the rest of this stuff from the Jumbotron. So all of that. Okay, and maybe we want a line break or something, a couple of them to push that down. So let me just put a couple of line breaks. And also let's get rid of this stuff here that we already copied and pasted into the Jumbotron. Okay, that's looking okay. Maybe we want less line breaks. Maybe just one. Take one of those off, save this. Okay, so that's looking good. And you can play around with this, do whatever you want, obviously. And that's cool. So, all right, so the back, so we've got this page is done. We can show that's done. Now, if we want to edit this, or if we want to add a new friend, how do we change these forms? Well, this is kind of interesting. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Remember, there's a form partial that's getting called from a couple of different pages in this directory. So if we edit this form partial, it should bootstrapify itself on all the pages that call that partial. That's how partials work, right? So let's do that. So this is a form. So let's head back over to Bootstrap and look for forms. And in components, again, here's forms. And there's a couple of things we need to do. We need to add a class of form group. And then each item that we want to bootstrapify, we need to add a, let's see, class of form control to. So let's start out with this. We want a form group. So let's just look at this code. So here's our form Rails code, right? And so let's see, form, here's a div. This looks like some error messaging stuff. And then right here, div class field. So all of these fields we're going to add a form group to. So we can just paste these in, put a space and a paste. So that works. And then, like I said, the other thing we need to do is add this, where did it go? Form control class to every sort of thing that we want to bootstrapify. So each of these things need a form class. So, okay, we can do that. Let's come back to the top here. And here's each of the form fields, right, that we just form grouped. They have a label and a text field. Inside the text field, we just put a comma and then a class form control. So let me just copy this and let's just add this to each of these things. So here's last name, here's email, here's phone, here's Twitter. And we can bootstrapify this button as well. That's this create friend button, right? Without putting a comma, just typing in class and then btn-secondary, which is the same button code we've already used in the Jumbotron stuff in the last little section there. So, okay, let's go ahead and save this and reload this and see what this looks like. So, okay, this is looking better. Now, we've also got this back link, which you'll notice it's not in the form partial. It's on the actual page itself. So we'll take a look at that in just a second. Now, you might like these labels on top, but I kind of rather would have them inside of here as placeholder text. So let's see, like right here, it says name@example.com. And when you start typing, it disappears. I would like to do that with these labels and just get rid of the labels. So we can do that by just adding a placeholder tag to each of these things. So let's start at the top here. And right after our form control thing, we put another comma and let's go placeholder. And then whatever we want to be the placeholder. So here I want this to be first name, right? So let me just copy this. And we just come through here and do this for each of these things. So right here, this is going to be last name. And this one will be email. This one will be phone or phone number. And this one will be Twitter, right? So we can come through here and get rid of all of these labels. So get rid of this one, this one, this one. And if you don't want to take them out, like delete them, you could always just take off the equal to sign from the embedded Ruby tag. So if we save this and reload it, boom, now these things have placeholder text and that's looking good. I want a little bit of a line break here after add new friend. So let's come up to the top and actually no, we'll do that inside of each page itself. So now if we come back here and let's go to friends and we want to edit one of these guys, you'll notice this page has been bootstrapified too, right? Very, very cool. And we'll talk about that in a second. Let's go back. So now we want to tinker with each of these individual pages. So we'll start with a new one. So we want to add a new friend. So let's go to new.html And here it says add new friend. Here it's rendering that form. Here's the link. So right here, I want to put a line break to push it down a little bit. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, that looks better. I also want to change this back button. We'll bootstrapify that. So we can just add a class of btn space btn dash, let's use that black one. What was that? Go back to our buttons. This dark. So btn dark. Choose that. btn dark. Save this. Come back. Reload. Maybe that looks good. Maybe we want to put some space there. So let's put a line break. Reload. Okay, that looks better. Maybe we want a line break between these two things. We need to do that in the form partial. So let's head back to the form partial, find the button, and put a line break in there. Okay, that looks better. Let's go back. Now let's edit a friend. And we've got these two buttons down here. So we need to fix that. That's the edit page. And also we need some space here. So let's go to edit.html. And again, we'll put our line break tag here and our line break tag here. Get rid of this pipe. And let's change this to class btn space btn dash secondary. And let me just copy this to this guy. And we'll have this one dark. Okay, so, oops, we need a closing tag there. Okay, so let's save this, come back over here, hit reload. Okay, so looking better. And we'll notice in the editing friend one, it has the information already. It's sort of like placeholder text, only it doesn't disappear if you start typing. So it puts it in there already. So that's very cool. So, all right, let's see what else. I think that's it. But now, how are we doing on time? Let's add a new friend and let's go test and let's create a friend. Notice it says right here, test was successfully created. That's a message. So Bootstrap has, and same thing here, when we destroy it, are you sure? We get a little message. So Bootstrap has message alerts that we can use. So let's go to alerts and scroll down here. And I like this one here that has a little thing you can get rid of. So let's just copy this. And where should we put this? Where does this go? Well, if we look at our form, it has some error stuff. But I think we would rather do this in a partial. So let's go to our layouts and let's add this error message ability to any page that we want. So I'm going to go to layouts here and let's create a new file. And I'm going to save this as _alerts.html.erb. And let's create an alert partial. I'm just going to paste in that stuff from Bootstrap that we just copied, the alert code. And if we look through here, here is the actual text itself. So instead of this, we can put embedded Ruby, and this will just be notice, right? So now if we save this, now we need to add this to our application.html.erb file. And if we come down here, where do we want to put this? Here is where our page is being yielded out, right? So above here, in this container, let's put our partial, right? So to do a partial, we remember, we just go render, and then it's going to be in layouts /alerts. Now we only want this to appear if there's an alert. So we can write a little if statement. So let's do some more embedded Ruby. Now notice there's no equal to sign because we just want to do an if statement. So let's go if notice. So if there is a notice, do this. All right, so I can tab this over. Actually, let's do it like this. There we go. If notice, do that. Otherwise, end. So this will only do our alert if there is an alert, right? So if Rails tells us an alert message, it'll do it, otherwise it won't. So, okay, let's go ahead and save this and let's give this a test. Let's head back over here. Let's add a new friend, whatever, create friend. And you'll notice now there's an alert here but there's also one here. And also this doesn't look great. We need a little bit of a line break. So let's change that real quick. So right here, let's put a line break. And I don't think we need one underneath it. Okay. But also, we got 2 of them there. So let's actually go back and delete this guy. Are you sure? Yes. Boom. This is looking better, but we're getting 2 of them. So why are we getting 2 of them? Well, let's look at our code and see. So let's head back over to our friends directory and let's look at index. And at the top, you'll see there's a notice. So we need to get rid of that. So we'll get rid of that. Let's look at all of our pages. Edit, there's no notice. Index, we just took it off. New, there's no notice. Show, there is a notice. So let's take that off as well because it's already taken care of because we put it in our application file as a partial. Okay, so save this. Now let's try this again. Let's add a new friend, some random stuff. Boom, friend was successfully created. We can click this to get rid of it. If we edit it, we can change it around, update our friend. Friend was successfully updated. Okay. If we go back and delete, are you sure? Friend was successfully destroyed. And okay, so that took a little while and it was a little tedious, but in the scheme of things, it was very quick, right? It was like 15, 20 minutes. We knocked out the design for all of this. And granted, it's not that sophisticated, but it definitely looks better than the Rails right out of the box. You know, this is kind of nice. We've got some hover, we've got some color schemes going on. We've got, you know, a little Jumbotron, and this is starting to look like a real website. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. Say pay just $49 to access all my courses, over 45 courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 100,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from Codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.